Sigh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stories of Hope. I'm Christine Hotchkiss, your host. I believe everyone has a story that is unique, just like our fingerprints that put us on the path of our lives. Some find purpose in our journeys. I believe every story can help, heal, inspire, educate, and my one big word is to give hope. Today, I have a guest, and I want to say special guest, but everybody I talk to is special. She has even more of a special title. My guest is Emily. And recently she received, you're probably wondering why I have a crown, and those of you who can't see, I have a crown on my head because I was awarded a SHERO award last month. And recently Emily, who has Down syndrome and lives in Wisconsin, received it. And I was super excited for her because she's an advocate for her community with Down syndrome. So with further ado, I want to introduce my special guest, Emily. Hello, Emily.
Hey, Cassie.
So I have my crown on. I have not got to wear mine since the day I was surprised. Where's yours?
I'll just hold it.
Can you put it on your head so I can see how big it is compared to mine too? It takes up our whole head, huh? It's very pretty.
Pretty impressive.
Very impressive. When you got this, what did you think? I know how I felt.
I was really surprised that I got it from Autumn. And I just received it from Autumn's closet. Sorry.
That's okay. There's no right or wrong answer. It's how you feel. How about this? How about I introduce or let our listeners and our viewers know what the SHERO Award is, and maybe that'll help you answer the question. Will that help you?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. I've got to put my glasses on. I can't see. So this award was founded by, and you've met her. I have not met this wonderful lady, Miss Galaxy International 2020, Crystal Cavey. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not met her, and one day I'm sure I will. This is what the SHERO Award is. She actually crowns 12 women, and I forgot to ask, what are you number, what?
6.
6, so I was number 5. So high five to both of us.
Crown sisters.
Okay. And as you know, it's not about the crown. It's about actually what we're doing in our communities. And that's where we're going to talk about what you do. The SHERO Award are women who are truly heroes. Women who have created organizations that make a difference in the lives of others. Women who stand firmly for what they believe in. Women who work on the front line. Women who have escaped and survived abuse. Women who were once homeless. Women who have followed their dreams and now help others follow theirs. Women who are first responders, women who have survived cancer, women who have lost children, husbands, women who have beat addiction, women who give their lives to help others, and so many more. And when I saw you be crowned, I noticed you have Down syndrome. And then I did a little peeking on your page because I have to know who I'm going to, ask questions of potential guest. You do a lot in your community, and I believe that's why you got the SHERO Award. Can you tell me, my listeners and my viewers, what it is that you do? You're an advocate.
What is it? Thank you, Autumn, for nominating me to be a She Hero. You are a big inspiration to me. I want to thank Miss Galaxy International, Crystal Cavey, for nominating me a She Hero. Thank you. I was surprised that I am honored. My family and friends are also very excited about it.
So you mentioned Autumn, and our listeners can't see her, but I can see her here. Tell us who Autumn is, and then we'll let Autumn introduce herself. Who is she to you that you know her?
I looked up. Come on. It's okay.
It's okay.
Tell her how we met.
Yes.
I think we met in autumn, I believe. I looked up to her as a beauty pageant, and I just could not thank her enough.
Oh, so Miss Autumn, please introduce yourself and how you were a part of this young lady's life for her to be nominated for the SHERO Award.
Well, I met Emily probably through my business, Autumn's Closet, which is what she's referencing. It's a women's resale store here in our hometown of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And my name is Autumn Castine. I'm the current Mrs. Wisconsin Galaxy, and I'm extremely involved in my community. So I kept running into this lady at event after event after event because she's extremely involved in our community. And so I think we first met through some events from an organization called the Arc of Fond du Lac. And there were things like the Spring Fling Dance, and they call it Fondy Idol, which is essentially American Idol. And it's an organization that provides, events and things for the special needs community to get involved in. And so that's how we initially started meeting. And then we met through another organization that works with the special needs community, and another one, which is called People's First. And that's where I really started to learn that Emily is a huge advocate for those with special needs in not just our community, but statewide and nationally. She's traveled to our state capital. She's traveled to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And she just shared with others the barriers that she has faced and adversity that she has faced, and really advocating for those that, need their voice to be heard. And she's just that voice for them. And so we met on several occasions, and then I found out she works at the grocery store near my home. So I purposely would always get in Emily's line. I saw that she was working, and kind of a fun little friendship just fostered from there. And when the SHERO Award came out and they told us that they were accepting nominations, my first thought went to Emily because of all the work that she's done for those with disabilities and just advocating for those with special needs. And so I'm honored. I'm not even the recipient, but I'm honored that they took my nomination and crowned this beautiful young lady sitting next to me because of the work that she's done.
Wow.
They need their voice to be heard.
Wow, Emily. Do you have anything to add to that? Because that was quite a bit for someone on the outside to see what you do, that you probably don't realize how much of an impact you're making.
Well, me and my mama started at People First. Started here at Fond du Lac. Our chapter was the People First Wisconsin, because we met at Annie's, and we have like monthly meetings. Like all sorts of guest speakers, and Autumn actually has spoken with our meetings about paying it forward.
Oh, I love that. We need more of that.
And we had our city council members. I don't know if you know this guy, but Ben Giles. I don't know if you know him or not.
No, You can tell me.
And we had a representative, Jeremy Stacefeld. Right now we are deciding like go out and vote and all that.
Oh, and that is so important. I am so glad you brought that up. What is the name of it again?
It's called People's First Wisconsin.
And is it people? It's individuals who have Down syndrome only?
No, it's any individual with special needs. And so when they get together at their monthly meetings, they always have a guest speaker. And that's another place that we ran into each other, as I was lucky enough to come speak at Christmas time. And my whole speech and presentation was about paying it forward and giving back to the community. And getting involved with your own personal platform. And so we, at that meeting, all got to sit down and each individual got to pick, if they had to pick a platform or a cause or an organization to represent, what would they want to represent or what would they want to volunteer for? And it was really interesting to go around the room and learn what everybody's passions were. And from there, we really started to foster ideas on how we could make these things happen and how we could make these volunteer events really come to fruition. And so it's just a really amazing organization. They discuss everything from, you know, personal goals like that to the importance of going out and voting during the election and giving these members the power and the knowledge that they need to get out and vote. So they cover a lot of topics, and it's a great organization for you to be involved in and just create that awareness in our community.
And that it is, especially with this being the voting year, and a lot of voices aren't realizing that they're silent voices, and you are telling these people you don't have to be silent. Mm-hmm. And if I say this correctly, just because you have special needs doesn't mean you don't have the right to vote or be educated to knowing what that means, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I did a little peeking on your page, and before we started the show, I got to meet your boyfriend and mom, but I did see something else. What is Champions for, how do you say your town's name?
Fond du Lac.
Fond du Lac. What is that?
Champions of Fond du Lac is a amazing program for all people without abilities, with their families. Like we do hikes, bowling, basketball, movies.
Active outdoor stuff, sports and stuff? Okay.
And everything. I mean, they do everything from fundraisers and volunteer projects to fun things like the bowling and the bocce ball or Special Olympics, baseball. I mean, it's just another organization in our community that supports the special needs community. And we're very blessed, I think, to live in an area that there's multiple organizations here that support our special needs community. And so, of course, Emily is involved in all of them. Sounds like you're a little bit like me. You can't say no. You have to be involved in everything. Huh?
Some of them I can do, all of them I can't do.
I love that attitude. I love that attitude, Emily. You know, there are people that could say, I can't do that because whatever reason, they want to find a reason not to do something. And I want to say that you're a regular person like any of us, but you have a special part of you, which is the special needs part. But I love the fact that you are involved as if anyone else, as we've talked about Autumn and how I'm involved, anyone else that is, whether they're listening or seeing this, you're making a difference on so many different levels. And just because you have something different about you, or for me in my story, I have something different happen to me, that doesn't mean you have to live life differently. And that's what you're showing. So I think that's great. Now, your organization that you founded with your mom, is it a nonprofit or is it just something that you do in the community?
Nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Yep.
So then you depend upon donations and volunteers when you do put these events together?
We have a lot of volunteers, a lot of parents that are actively involved, right? Well, does your mom go with you to every meeting?
Well, there's sort of like every quarterly meeting or monthly meeting. Me and Mama always go.
You always are there. And do you have different officers, right, that are in charge of your meetings? Like you have a president, a vice president, that sort of thing? Yep. So
I was currently a president, but not anymore now.
You served your term and then you were out of there.
Yeah.
I have a feeling though you're still going to be a great big part of it because it's probably where your heart is, right?
Yeah.
So I asked this, and you may not have an answer, and if you do, that's great. Do you have a website or contact information, maybe Autumn knows, so that if someone is either seeing this or is hearing this, could, and maybe in your area, could donate or maybe be a volunteer? Do you have a website or maybe an email address?
I do have an email.
Okay.
You can find them on Facebook. It's champion. Well, there's a champions Facebook page, but then there's also People First of Wisconsin on Facebook as well,
Wisconsin.
where you can kind of contact. Yep, each state has their own chapter, I believe, and they run their monthly statewide meetings. They pick a different location every single month, and anyone can attend.
Okay. And I think you covered just about everything. So now that you have this crown, as I do, I don't have a reason to wear mine anywhere. I did take mine off. It's heavy. As my friend Robin, who put it on, and she goes, oh, tough break. And I was like,
oh, you poor thing. You have to wear this beautiful thing on your head.
I know. I never, ever thought I would get something. I didn't even know this award existed. So I want to say thank you to Crystal as well, should she hear or see this. This means, like I said, more, Emily, than just wearing a crown. It's you give it life. It's just something that is pretty, but you give it life. And what you're doing in your community, you already had the life, and now you've given more of a sparkle on that crown of yours. Is there anything that you're wanting to do further with not just the crown, but more in your community that you probably didn't realize that is available on top of what you're doing? Or if I think you already said it, you're like, once your term is up, you're out of there. Is there something else that's going to replace it?
We're actually I'm doing a presentation with the Edge of Orion. He is actually a director of Edge of Orion also.
You're doing a presentation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Self-determination.
Of what, I'm sorry?
Self-determination.
Self-determination. Wow. Well, now that leads into my...
yourself, Emily? Did you write? So she's writing...
We're still working on it.
Okay, so she's writing, her mom just told me that they're working on writing her presentation themselves, and it's all about self-determination and where you want to see yourself going, right? In the future, and goals you have for yourself. Very cool.
Emily, how old are you?
I'm 27 now.
And if I also did my homework on your page, you just graduated?
I did graduate. I graduated from Ray Park Tech College, and I also graduated from Calton High School.
Wow. So there goes that determination you just talked about, right?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. So with you having said the determination, that leads me into my final question. I feel like I'm on the pageant stage asking questions.
Well, you do have a crown, so.
I am entitled on that one, right?
Yeah.
What message would you like to leave our listeners and our viewers based on the journey you are walking, or just about life in general? Because you did talk about your future too.
But I do want to say from the future now, from the end, that you can always advocate yourself, just be yourself, and just be more happier.
Because happiness comes from inside, right? That is wonderful. A beautiful message. And of determination. There's so many beautiful words you used today, and what you're doing in your community is amazing. I think keep doing what you're doing, because as I always tell everyone, it only takes one person to make a difference, right? And that would be you. Thank you for being my guest, Emily.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Autumn, for being my guest as well.
You're welcome.
And we'll thank Ms. Crystal for the opportunity to be a part of the acceptance of an award. I don't think any of us even knew existed, but it does make a difference. Not just to get a crown, but to actually say someone knows that we're doing something good, even though we don't realize we're doing good, because you should always do good, right? Even when someone's not looking.
It's all about the recognition and just showing people that you appreciate the difference that they're making in the world around them. It wouldn't have even had to be a beautiful crown. It could have just been words of affirmation, but I think hearing it from another person that they see you and they see the difference you're making means the world. So I see you and I see the difference you're making. And
I'm going to add one more word to it too. And I think maybe Emily, you could say, you probably agree, is you're empowering other people.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Emily?
I have a great little question that I've heard you answer before. Can I ask really quickly?
Yeah, please.
What advice would you have for a young lady that has Down syndrome for the future?
Oh,
Wow.
this is hard. I do want to make an advice. If you have Down syndrome or without Down syndrome or abilities, stay proud, be happy as you are, and just be honest. Just make everything happen. It goes well.
Live your life. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You're made the way you were meant to be.
You're an original, right?
Yeah, you are.
I talked to someone recently who said, you're perfectly made. Right? You're perfectly made like anybody else.
Yeah, always.
Always. Thank you again, Emily. It was a pleasure meeting you. Maybe one day in my journeys of things, I have some stuff coming up that I will get to meet you. In the meantime, I'll keep looking at your page and seeing what other things you're Unless it's all good stuff. It's not bad stuff. So I like to be the deliverer of good news. And if you're posting good news, I want to see it. So one more time, where can you be found on Facebook in the event someone wants to reach out? Or your people's or people. What did you say was? I'm sorry. People First.
People First Wisconsin. Otherwise, you want to tell them your full name?
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
My full name is Emily Jandura. So
her mom said that you can find her on Facebook that way. That's why I asked. So
because Mom's behind the scenes. So thank you, Mom, for the permission.
So we're getting a little bit of information, and Mom said that was okay. So I'm sure
now, perfect. Perfect. So now here's the thing: is you need to spell your last name because I couldn't say it when I spelled it or when I wrote it out.
Jandura.
That way, anyone finds you, they'll know how to find the right Emily. How do you spell your last name?
Jandura.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, ladies, thank you again for being my guest today and sharing your journeys and the SHERO Award. Who knew?
Want to show them one more time?
I was going to say, let's show those crowns one more time.
Beautiful.
Very pretty, huh?
Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you again. And to my listeners, if you have a story that you want to share or needs to be heard, or an organization in your community that you feel should be known about, because in these trying times right now, we all need some hope. And even if it's being in our communities with those little organizations that actually probably feel overwhelmed or forgotten, so it can go one of two ways, please email me to the address of Christine with the CH at storiesofhope.com, and that's stories with a Y. Until next time, everyone, I wish you well and you take care.